playing some Johnny Cash, The Man in Black. This is Folsom Prison Blues. I don't think this song will ever get old. It is an awesome song for a campfire, for a gig, for a party. It's fun just to play. It's fun little things to practice on the guitar if you're just starting out. And we only need a couple chords. We're gonna learn the little intro riff. And at the end of this video, we're gonna do a sing along and a play along. So first thing I need you guys to do is follow the link in the description and download the chart that goes along with this video. It's got everything on it that I'm gonna be talking about, the strumming pattern, the chords, the lyrics and everything like that. Print it off. It's like $1. It helps support the channel. We appreciate that. This song is also part of our Campfire Sing Along book #1. So if you want to get even more songs, you can download that there, and we really appreciate it. Second thing we need to know is that Johnny Cash plays this song with his capo on the 1st fret, or sometimes with no capo at all, depending on the recording that you're listening to. I'm going to capo it onto the 3rd fret because I cannot hit the notes as low as Johnny can sing. I'm going to do my best to sing it as low as I can to hit the lowest possible notes. If I was playing this at a gig, I would probably put it up even a little bit higher, but I'm going to try for this video to do my best Johnny Cash. And that's really what this channel is all about. Just have fun with it, just rock it out, and it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. It's just about learning the guitar, trying new things. So let's learn the chords. The first chord that we need is the E major chord. I'm going to strum all 6 strings. That is a nice, full, awesome E major chord. The other chord we need is E7. So if I lift my ring finger off, amazing transition from E to E7. And then I go to my A chord. I'm going to strum 5 strings for my A chord. But you could strum all 6. It's not wrong if you do that. And B7 chord, some students laugh because they think this is a made-up chord. It's like, let's just take all our fingers and jam them into the first 2 frets as much as we can. Pick any string, pick any fret. But I promise you it's a real chord. B7 chord. Now, this is a lot of fingers jammed into the 1st and 2nd fret. The student is not wrong. What you're going to do when you're learning a brand new chord is just put your fingers down, and then with your pick, 1 string at a time, strum each string and make sure that it's nice and clear. So if you hear anything like that, dead note, that means you got to just readjust, rearrange, move your fingers around, and then you're going to try again. If you hear any buzzing, you might not be far enough up close to the fret. So make an adjustment and try again. Another pro tip, when you're playing with a capo, sometimes the capo can get in the way, especially for this chord. My finger wants to be a little bit further over that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust my capo so that it actually is flush with the bottom of the neck. And then when I'm doing my B7 chord, my hand is free to go there. And it gives me some more room to move around. When you put your capo on, though, pro tip is just to strum all the strings, make sure there's no buzzing or dead notes, and that your capo is in the right spot. Every guitar is a little different, every capo is a little different. The capo will wear out. Like if it's not as tight as it once was, it sometimes doesn't push all the strings. Anyways, I could make a whole video about capos and a whole video about chords, but anyway, let's continue on with this Johnny Cash song. So let's just dive right in next, now that we know the chords, to the intro riff, because we're gonna start on a B7 chord, and the first bunch of notes from this riff comes straight out of this chord, so I don't even have to move my left hand. Watch this. All that was built into this chord. Now the next thing I have to do is just move my middle finger to the 2nd fret of the E string. Now if you want, you can bend this note a little bit, pull it down. Bending with the capo on is a little bit dangerous because the capo tends to kind of hold the note in the bend, so bend it if you want, bend at your own risk. But I'm gonna reach down, grab that note, and then I'm gonna go to an E major chord after that. And I'm gonna land on the open E string. So let's do that again slow, starting on B7. And I do a pluck, and then I'm right into my strum, which is the next thing we need to know, pluck, strum. So I've got my E chord. I'm gonna start by plucking the root of the chord and then strumming. If you guys have seen my other videos, I talk about the pluck strum in almost every single video. It's an awesome folk and country and rock thing to do. So pluck on the E, string, which is your root note of your E chord, pluck that note, and then come back up and strum all 6 strings. Pluck and rest your pick onto the string below instead of plucking out. Again, I'm gonna say this in every single video because I really want you to do it. Instead of going like this, it's just too much movement. There's too much risk to not find your way back to the right string. It's a bit easier when it's the low E string because it's the first string you have to find, but when you need to find your way into the different strings, I want you to just rest your pick on the string below. Pluck, strum, pluck, strum, pluck, strum, pluck, strum. When we go to our A chord, we're going to pluck the A string, which is the root note of the A chord. When I go to B7, the root note is a B note, which is the 2nd fret of my A string. So I pluck my A string. For the E7 chord, the root note is still just the same. Pluck the E string. So should we do a little bit of practice on those pluck strums? Let's do 4 pluck strums on E, 4 pluck strums on A, then 4 pluck strums on B7, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now A, 1, 2, 3, 4, B7. Back to E, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sweet! Now, that's level 1. Level 2 of the pluck strum, we're going to add what we call alternating root notes. So instead of just doing root, pluck, strum, pluck, strum, pluck, strum, I'm going to alternate between the root note and then what we call the 5th of the chord. So it's going to sound like this. Upright bass player playing boom, 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 boom. So we'll do that for our E chord. We start by plucking the E string, pluck, strum, and then the second time I'm going to move my pick to the A string, pluck, strum. So the E string, A string, E string, A string. Cool. For A chord, we actually just flip it. We do the A string first, and then we do the E string. Pluck, strum, root, 5th, root, 5th. For the B7 chord, this is actually really cool and really fun to practice, and I love teaching this to beginners because it's one of the first times you get to kind of do something cool with your left hand and it sounds awesome. You start with your root note, which is your 2nd fret of your A string. So you pluck the A string, pluck, strum, and then to get the 5th of the B7 chord, you're going to move your middle finger to the E string. So you have to move it back and forth. Let's try ultra slow. We're going to do the alternate root notes. For E, we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then A, and then B7, and back to E, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, A, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, B7. Lots of practice time required to master that, but that is something that if you practice it, you will get really good at it pretty quickly. So it's a fun thing to practice. And like I said, it applies to so many of these folk and country songs that we learn on this channel. Now, with all that said, like I always say in the videos, we are just learning this so that we can play the song at a campfire or just for our friends or whatever, for ourselves. If the pluck strum is stressing you out, just don't do it. You can just do also what I call just a mini strum. Mini strum, big strum. So maybe I'm strumming 2 strings, maybe I'm strumming 3 strings, but I'm still getting that boom, chaka, boom, chaka. The first strum is little and punchy. Trying to hit just exactly 1 string. If you do hit that 1 string, it's very country. It's very country. Same thing with the A chord. So guys, choose your own adventure. Have some fun with it. Try for the pluck strum, and if you accidentally hit 2 strings, it's still going to sound great. Okay. Now that we've got the pluck strum mastered, we can add a little up strum to the pluck strum. Pluck, down, up, pluck, down, up, pluck, down, up, pluck. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. So that's cool. The other thing you will hear me doing in this song is combining strumming pattern number 8, down, down, up, and the pluck strum. Again, this is a thing I've talked about in almost every single video up until now. Pluck, down, up, pluck, down. So the first beat is my root note, and then I do down, up, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, Johnny Cash's song is pretty fast, so we're going pretty slow right now. Together, we're going to go tempo to lerno, kind of slow. I think we are ready to put everything together. We've got the intro, we've got the pluck strum, we've got the chords. The song is a 12-bar blues, and fun fact, it's actually kind of more like an 11-bar blues because he chops off the last bar because he's Johnny Cash and he can. So you guys, we've talked about a lot of different options. We got the pluck strum, we got the pluck strum and pattern 8. We've got the alternate root notes pluck strums. We've got pluck strums with up strums. Choose what feels good to you guys. If you want to keep it basic and simple, just do pluck, strum, pluck, strum. That's awesome, and it's going to sound great. If you want to spice it up a little bit more, add some of the other things we talked about, okay? Here I go. I'm going to probably keep it pretty straight in the beginning, and as I get more into the song and excited, I'm going to add some of the other stuff and the extra little strums, okay? Starting on our B7 chord for our riff to start. 1, 2, 3. Time keeps dragging on. watching, everybody. Thanks for playing along. Great work. Practice that pluck strum. It's going to come in handy in so many other songs. Thank you for downloading the chart and for liking and subscribing to this video. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. Keep strumming, keep smiling, and we'll see you in the next video.